All right, it is time to learn Down Under, or for some of you, relearn Down Under. And this evening, or for me it's this evening, it's 5:40 on a Saturday. I've got no plans for Saturday night, so I'm here with you. I'm going for the method acting version of tutorials because it's thundering outside. There is a storm lurking. It was gently rumbling through the soprano tutorial, which I recorded first, then I did these. There's another one there, and it's getting more vicious as I went and got my wine before this one. It's ramping up a little, so let's see what happens through the alto tutorial. But baritones, you're probably not going to get method acting in yours because Daniel won't be recording his until later in the week, so you're probably not going to get thunder. So it doesn't make you less important, but you don't get the method acting. But also altos are getting wine, and it's actually full strength wine, which I don't normally drink. It's probably a bad idea, but it's not going to stop me. Don't know if I've done a tutorial with a drink before. Someone gave me a full. I normally drink Moscato, which is like baby wine, but that's a Sauv Blanc, so let's see what happens. Maybe I should just teach it quickly and drink slowly. There we go. All right, what do I need to tell you about this one? So this is the Men at Work's Down Under, but this is actually the Colin Hay version. I know Colin Hay's in Men at Work, but he did a solo version, and I heard this, and I would never have thought about doing this song because it's a bit cheesy, a bit naff. And then I heard this beautiful version that he did with this really earthy, rhythmic, rich-sounding backing track and a really stripped-down kind of feel of the song. And I went, ooh, we could do that. So we did it a couple of years ago. I think 2023 or 2022. But I've changed the arrangement very slightly because before we had soloists, and we actually had lots of soloists doing one line each, so people could feel all the Australian nisms coming through. But this time I've rearranged it so that each one of the parts gets to sing a verse. So soprano sing verse 1, alto sing verse 2, and baritone sing verse 3, and then everyone works together on the rest of it. The chorus is the same every time, just with a change of lyrics for chorus 2 when we chunder. And when we chunder, not if I get through it that quickly. And then the last chorus, there's just an addition of some yeahs. But other than that, it's a bit of repetition, which makes it a bit easier. Sopranos split once into soprano 1s and 2s, and altos split, I think, about 3 times, but it's quite repetitive. The bits you split on, so you'll be all right. Everyone gets some melody. It's just quite gentle, just quite a cruisy little version of the song, and it's a lovely little kind of fading out ending, like the end of a storm, which is probably what's going on right now. We're not going to record this one. So normally I would say at this point, if you're going to record this, please wear such and such. We're not going to do a virtual choir recording of this one for mainly because we only did it a couple of years ago. But also it would be due around the time I'm going to New Zealand and I won't be able to do it. So I thought, well, that's synergy. Let's not do a virtual choir recording for this one. So we won't record it at rehearsals. We won't do the individual submissions. But you still need to learn it. We will be taking it to New Zealand as well. All right, here we go. So it's time to split off into your sections. Baritones, you're with Daniel. Sopranos, I've already done yours, so you chop off that way. Altos, you're staying with me right here. Well, you're all staying with me right here, but it's my turn to do the altos. Enjoy.
Hello, baritones, and welcome to your tutorial for Down Under. This is a nice, easy one today because it is one part. I think there's like one line where we split up, but it'll be one part in all the choirs. We sing a lot of the same thing throughout this song, so lots of repetition will be super easy to learn. Let's get cracking. If I can press the right button, that would be really helpful. So we start off with a loop.
Da-dum, dum, da-dum, dum, da-dum, dum. Oh, da-dum, dum, da-dum, dum, da-dum, dum. Oh, da-dum, dum, da-dum, dum, da-dum, dum. Oh.
So by now the other parts have started singing the melody of the words. We're still singing this loop. Oh, oh, do you come from a land down under, where women glow and men plunder? That's a bit louder. Can you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover. Little interlude. Da-dum, da-dum. lyrics this time.
Webby does flow and mench under. Can you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover. We're living in a world down under. We're living in a world down under. We're living in, we're all living here in a world down under. We're living in, we're all living here in a world down under. Lying in a den in Bombay,
You get the melody.
with a slack jaw and not much to say. I said to the man, are you trying to tip me? Because I come from the land of plenty. And he said, oh, do you come from a land down under? Yeah, where women glow and men plunder.
Forgot about that bit.
Can you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover. We're living in a land down under. Yeah, where women glow and men plunder.
Now it's more similar to what we've done before.
Can you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover. We're living in, we're all living here in a world down under. We're living in, we're all living here in a world down under. We're living in, we're all living here in a world down under. We're living in, we're all living here in a world down under.
And there's this little outro. Great work. So, as you might know, I think Jack might have mentioned it at the start, we are doing the Colin Hay solo version. So yes, he's the singer from Men at Work, but he also did this song in a slightly different, more, like that backing's quite a lot more earthy and a lot more stripped back, and certainly less Men at Work, when he did it on its own, and that's what we're doing today. So Jack arranged this one a few years ago, so it might be quite familiar to some of you. If you've done this one before, note that we are not doing any solos. So there are parts that we will sing that we didn't sing previously. So just keep that in mind. But it is super easy and really quite repetitive, so we'll nail a lot of it down quite fast. Let's get into it. So, the first loop we do about 8 bajillion times. And after 2 bars of intro, we come in on 3, 4.
Ta-dum, dum, ta-dum, dum, ta-dum, dum. Oh, ta-dum, dum, ta-dum, dum, ta-dum, dum. Oh.
So note that that's a ta-dum, dum. And that last dum should be really short.
Ta-dum, dum, ta-dum, dum, ta-dum, dum. Oh.
That's quite a big jump.
Ta-dum, dum. Oh. And then back down.
We do that very, very many times. We do it twice before the sopranos come in on the verse. Traveling in a fried out combi. So we do that twice, and then we keep doing that for the duration of the verse. I think we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 loops normally, and then one at the end is a little bit different. So we've just gone, we've done the normal ta-dum, dum, oh, last one, ta-dum, dum, ta-dum, dum, ta-dum, dum, oh. So rather than cutting it short like we have previously, we hold it on and we add a couple extra notes to the end. Ta-dum, dum, oh. And that's going to be, the altos will be doing that as well, underneath the sopranos saying, and she said. So for context, the last 2 loops under She Made Me Nervous will go ta-dum, dum, ta-dum, dum, ta-dum, dum, oh. Last ta-dum, dum, ta-dum, dum, ta-dum, dum, oh. Like that. So when I hold my hand up like this, I might have explained this in previous tutorials, it means we are doing the last one. If I'm spinning this in a circle, we're going again. If I'm holding my hand up, that is the last time we do that loop. So since that's so super easy, we're not even going to sing it through, we're going to learn the chorus, which we sing many times in slight variations on this. So this chorus, no one really has the melody. Everyone kind of sings bits and pieces of it. But we start on the same note as our tadums. So we've just come off of tadum to more, back down. Do you come from a land down under? And each of our lines is similar in terms of notes. So they're all da 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 in pretty much that order with slightly different rhythms. So it goes. Do you come from a land down under? 2, 3, 4. Where women glow and men plunder. Guess what the next one sounds like? Can you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover. So, what's different there? So the do you come from a land down under, where women glow, men plunder, is the rhythms you expect. The thunder might be slightly different to what you expect. Can you hear the thunder? So that duh comes in on the start of the next bar. Can you hear the thunder? 2, 3, 4. You better run, you better take cover. So that run is lower than the other notes. You better run, you better take cover. But then we do this chorus a lot of times quite similar to this. So we've learnt the foundation of much of the song. Let's sing through all of that all the way through to that first chorus. Right. Going from the start. Oh.
Da-dum-dum, da-dum-dum, da-dum-dum. Oh, 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 do you come from a land down under?
Nice sharp cut off.
Where women glow and men plunder. Can you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover.
Great work. Shush. Right, so now we have a little interlude. So this next section, this is the only time we do this in this song. There's a lot of one-off little interlude bits that we'll do. So having just gone, you better run, you better take cover. 3, 4.
Da-dum, da-dum. Da-dum, da-dum.
So that is there's a really interesting little flip that happens there. So a restatement of the note without putting a consonant in there. Da-dum, da-dum, da. Just a little flick of the note. Da-dum, da-dum. You close onto a hum off. Da-dum, da-dum. That's that interlude. Not even going to teach that any further. Because then the next bit we have is the next verse. So verse 2. You might be familiar with the fact that the kookaburra sits in the old gum tree nursery rhyme plays in the background of this song. That's the flute. We are essentially doing a slowed down version of that during this verse. This is a really cool, I really like this part of Jack's arrangement, where we essentially do a slowed down version of that refrain? Jeez. Of that refrain behind the alto singing the melody. So we've come off, we stay on this note, we have a favourite note. Ba 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 da ba ba da oh. Ba 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 da ba ba da oh. Hear it? Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree. So we do that slowed down version. So we do it once that way, and those really short butt bars at the start. Ba 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 da ba ba da oh. Ba 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 da ba ba da oh. Then again. Ba 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 da ba ba da oh. Ba 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 da ba ba da oh. So that last one is different again. It's actually in this. It's different in the same way. So the first time we did ta-dum dum ta-dum dum ta-dum dum more. You're adding those climbing notes on the end. Same thing here. Ba 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 da ba ba da oh. Climbing up like that. Nice and easy. And because it's so easy, we'll crack onto the chorus. This is identical to the previous chorus, other than a slight change of words. I come from a land down under. Now we're beering and chundering. Where beer does flow and Ben chunder. Christ. Where beer does flow and men chunder. Maybe Ben chunders, who knows. Can't you hear the thunder? And then the same. You better run, you better take cover. So, something I forgot to point out the first time that you do need to know about these can't you hears is they are can't you, not can you. And depending on your accent, can and can't might sound quite similar. For me, it's can't. But when you're singing it this fast and we're trying to, even out our vowels, we like to correct Australian vowels sometimes because we can have quite ugly vowels when we speak, us Australians. So in a choir, sometimes they're not desirable. In this case, we are singing an Australian song, admittedly sung by a Scottish man. But it is can't you hear, or can't you hear. So we need to just put a little bit of effort into getting those T's out. It's quite hard to spit them out so fast. Can't you hear the... Can't you hear? And we don't really want a can't you hear. We're not chewing anything. Can't you hear the thunder? It's quite hard work, but we do want it to be clear that it's can't. You better run, you better take cover. So yes, the different words are, I come from a land down under, where beer does flow and men chunder. But again, this is a super well-known song. I would be surprised if you didn't know these lyrics. As per usual, if you need to revise anything, there are time codes below. So we are going to sing from that da-dum, da-dum, little interlude through verse 2 and chorus 2. So let's do that now.
Can't you hear the thunder?
Bit of a run up.
You better run, you better take cover. Da-dum, da-dum. Da-dum, da-dum. I come from a land down under,
Probably signal that by pointing.
where we does flow and men chunder. Get you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover.
Right, we're going to learn a bit that we will need later. So this is another section we will repeat a later time in the song. Oh, and actually, this specific bit we don't repeat, the next bit we do. So we're going to do another loopy bit, where we're split into harmony. This is another invention of Jack's, as far as I'm aware. So after, you better run, you better take cover, 3, 4. We're living in a world down under. We're living in a world down under. So it's the same each time other than the second we're living in. So first time, we're living in down, we're living in a world down under. Second time, we're living in up, we're living in a world down under. Makes sense? So then we do a slightly different version of that, another 2 times. We're all living here in a world down under. We're all living here in a world down under. So this version with the we're all living here is something we will repeat later. So put a pin in it, but nice and easy. Now we get the melody, yay! We get the words. So this is verse 3. We're lying in a den in Bombay. So we've come off of we're all living here in a world down under, lying in a den in Bombay. So that's lying in a den in Bombay. So den in Bombay are all the same length, but there's an in a den in Bombay is the rhythm there. Lying in a den in Bombay. 3, 4. With a slack jaw and not much to say. So in the original song he pauses. There's a break between jaw and. There's sort of a with a slack jaw and not much to say. We're not doing that. We're carrying it through. With a slack jaw and not much to say. 3, 4. And then we split. So the sopranos and altos will be doing little echoes here. So we are going to now for 3 notes, split into a higher and a lower. Because this high note might be a little hard for some people. So after, if you want to choose the higher note, which is the melody, you will sing after, not much to say, 3, 4. I said to the man, are you trying to tempt me? So I said, you're going up here. I said to the man, are you trying to tempt me? So, the funny thing about the word trying, is depending on who you ask, what time, and how many syllables they need in a line. It could be 1 syllables or 2. In this case, it is 1. I said to the man, are you trying to tempt me? Trying. If you want to sing the lower part, so you can't really manage that high note there, you'll sing, I said to the man, are you trying to tempt me? You'll just flick back and forwards between those 2 notes. I said to the man, are you trying to tempt me? So again, the melody is, I said to the man, are you trying to tempt me? The lower one is, I said to the man, are you trying to tempt me? And then we both come back together, because I come from the land of plenty. So you go down on from. Because I come from the land of plenty. This part's really fun. I think we get the best verse. So I'm going to sing that whole verse through, and you sing it with me, and then we'll tack on the chorus. We'll just sing this whole verse through without the track for now. So coming in on line 3, 4. Lying in a den in Bombay, and there's some echoes happening. With a slack jaw and not much to say. Then we split. I said to the man, are you trying to tempt me? 3, 4. Because I come from the land of plenty. And he said, oh, is how we end that one. And he said, oh, and it's nice and fast. Because I come from the land of plenty. And he said, oh, do you come from a land down under? We're now into the last chorus. Actually, let's sing through the we're living. So back to that little interlude. The we're living in a world down under. And then the we're all living here in a world down under. We'll sing that, and we'll sing the verse. And then I will teach you everything until the end. So let's just sing through this bit first. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
You better run, you better take cover.
So coming on these we're living ins.
We're living in a world down under. We're living in a world down under. We're living in, we're all living here in a world down under. We're living here in a world down under. Lying in a den in Bombay. With a slack jaw and not much to say. I said to the man, are you trying to tempt me? Because I come from the land of plenty. And he said, oh, do you come?
Great, then there's the chorus. Right, so the chorus is very similar to what we've already sung, with some extra little ad-libs added in some of the spaces. So it's back to the first chorus where we say, do you come from a land down under, where women glow and men plunder, rather than chandering. So we've gone, do you come from a land down under? Then, yeah. So that's just one yeah, changing notes. Yeah. Then, where women glow and men plunder. This is exactly the same as we've done before. Can't you hear the thunder? 3, 4, you better run. You better take cover. Then, we're living in a land down under. Yeah. So that one's quite different to what we've done before. So, you better run. You better take cover. 2, 3, we're coming in on beat 4. 3, we're living in a land down under. So that's a different shape. Previously we'd have gone land down under. We're changing this one now. Living in a land down under. Yeah. That's 2 yeahs. So before it was yeah, 1 year. Now we're doing yeah, 2 yeahs. When women glow and men plunder. Then it's exactly the same. Can you hear the thunder? 3, 4, you better run. You better take cover. Now, I'm just going to marker it. Because what we do till the end is the we're living in, we're all living here in a world down under. Exactly as we've done it before. we do 2 repeats of the whole pattern. So it sounds like,
we're living in, we're all living here in a world down under. We're living in, we're all living here in a world down under.
again,
We're living in, we're all living here in a world down under. We're living in, we're all living here in a world down under.
and you hold that one for as long as your director tells you to, so do not cut it off. That's the whole song. It's super easy. We're going to sing through till the end, and then we are going to have a big full sing through together. Alright, so let's just sing through up to the end. Bless me. Alright.
I said to the man, are you trying to tempt me?
We're coming in on that last chorus.
Because I come from the land of plenty. And he said, oh, do you come from a land down under?
Got the yeah.
Yeah, where women glow and men plunder.
Same as before.
Can you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover. We're living in a land down under. Yeah, yeah, where women glow and men plunder. Can you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover. We're living in, we're all living here in a world down under. We're living in, we're all living here in a world down under. We're living in, we're all living here in a world down under. We're living in, we're all living here in a world down under.
There's all that little endy bit. Great. Alright, if you've got anything that you need to go over, please return to it using the time codes below. If you're ready to have a sing through with me, then join me in the next section. Rightio, so as you may have heard, we're not recording this one. We recorded it quite recently. There is no need, but it is really helpful to have a big full sing through. So just join me in a very informal capacity, and let's do a little karaoke for the whole song. 1, 2, 3.
Ta-dum, dum, ta-dum, dum, ta-dum, dum. Oh, 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 do you come from a land down under, where women glow and men plunder? Can't you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover. Da-dum, da-dum. Da-dum, da-dum. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-oh. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-oh. 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 I come from a land down under, where we dust flow and men chunder. Can you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover. We're living in a world down under. We're living in a world down under. We're living in, we're all living here in a world down under. We're living in, we're all living here in a world down under. Lying in a den in Bombay, with a slack jaw and not much to say. I said to the man, are you trying to tempt me? Because I come from the land of plenty. And he said, oh, do you come from a land down under? Yeah, where women glow and men plunder. Can you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover. We're living in a land down under. Yeah, yeah, where women glow and men plunder. Can you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover. We're living we're all living here in a world down under. We're living we're all living here in a world down under. We're living we're all living here in a world down under. We're living we're all living here in a world down under.
Great work. Hope you enjoyed that one. It's a nice break from not having to wear your headphones. You can record as loud as you want. I don't have anything else to say for you. That one was nice and easy. I will see you in the next one. Bye.